The 1911 wheat cent has a number of valuable variety coins that you can look for. Let's start off with the San Francisco Mint that has a very attractive, not to mention very popular variety coin with collectors. This is the 1911 S/S repunched mint mark variety. This is a fantastic variety where the repunching is really very clear, and the remnants of the initial punching can be clearly seen towards the west of the final impression of the S mint mark. Both the bottom serif as well as the top rounding of the mint mark are clearly, well, for the practical purposes, almost doubled towards the left. This should hold true even in lower grades and in later die state examples of the coin as well. In later die states, the top rounding does become less pronounced and becomes less obvious, really, but the initial impression of the bottom serif should remain legible all the same. During 2022, a PCGS graded example of this coin slabbed as MS65 Brown was sold at public auction for the sum of $1,750. As there are no major varieties for the Philadelphia Mint coin, then we head back west to the Denver Mint, where again our focus will fall on a repunched mint mark variety. In fact, more than just one, so let's start off with the first one of these. This is the most subtle of all of these varieties mentioned, to be sure. Look towards the bottom of the D mint mark. The base of the letter should be doubled towards the southwest, with almost no separation between the initial and final impressions. There should also be a small dot towards the southwest of the top serif, which is almost easier to spot, to be honest. Now, an early die state is essential for this variety. Here, in contrast, is a late die state and low-grade example of the same variety, and as you can see, it's almost impossible to diagnose and attribute the coin in this state. It's a fairly rare example with few known examples to report, and because it's so subtle, it's not very popular with collectors either, other than with the most die-hard of variety specialists. So expect about a 20% premium over the base coin, or about $20 to $150 depending on the grade of the example you have. Now, our next variety coin has a lot in common with the coin we just discussed, but this time the doubling is displayed towards the southeast instead of the southwest. The doubling, or well, rather I should say the evidence of the repunching on this coin is a lot clearer than on the previous example though, thankfully. Look towards the base of the D, where there should be clear signs of the first impression, from the serif all the way up towards the middle of the rounding of the D. In addition, the top serif of the initial punching should also still be found just towards the south of the top serif of the final placement. The die state doesn't really affect this variety in my experience, other than the detail around the bottom rounding of the D getting a little bit softer or washed out. In 2019, a coin that matches this description was sold online, slapped by PCGS as AU50 for $398. Then we have a really nice repunched mint mark variety for this issue, and easily the boldest one, especially from the Denver Mint issues. On this coin, the initial D mint mark was rotated or tilted in a counterclockwise rotation, necessitating the repunching in order to properly orient the mint mark in relation to the date. Look inside the cavity of the D, towards the bottom left corner, and what remains of the tilted straight bar of the first D should be plainly seen. If you're not sure, then compare it to a normal version of the same coin, and it should be clear immediately. In addition to this, the top serif of the D is also affected. It appears to be split, almost, with the initial serif seen towards the south of the final impression. Because the repunching is so bold on this variety die state or even grade won't affect it that much at all. The lower diagonal section of the first impression should remain perfectly clear regardless of all of these factors. During 2022, a PCGS graded VF25 example of this coin was sold at auction for a total price of $1,005. And then the final variety is again a repunched mint mark from the Denver Mint, or well, to be more accurate, a 1911 D over D over D triple punched mint mark variety. In this case, the top serif of the secondary impression is seen southwest of the final placement. It almost may appear to be just a simple die bump, but it is in fact the remnant of the prior impression of the D punch. The initial impression, or again what remains thereof, is seen towards the southwest of the final mint mark. It is very faint, but there should be a slight raised section representing what was once the lower right rounding of the initial D. In 2023, a coin like this, graded as MS63 Brown, was sold at auction for $630. And those are your noteworthy varieties for the 1911 penny. If you like this, then consider watching a video about the 1910 penny varieties next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.